My name is Jaime. I'm a registered dietitian, and I'm going to talk today about the 5 nutrition tips to help optimize health and longevity. So these are my tips, my perspective on important things that you can focus on to have a healthier, happier, overall routine life, and make sure that you're considering all the items that are necessary to put that all into effect. So my 5 tips to optimize health and longevity are related to staying hydrated, leveraging the power of protein, let fiber fuel your gut, listening to your body, and connecting with an expert. Now, first part, water is essential for staying hydrated. Drinking water, making sure that you're getting adequate fluids, all part of our day-to-day routine. But a lot of times you don't necessarily stop to think about it because it's part of such a normal routine that we don't really take into consideration how it's impacting our body, our performance, how we do, how we focus. So adding a hydration component into your day-to-day routine is vital. Water is involved in nearly every function of your body, and it supports everything from temperature regulation, digestion, brain function. During warmer times, we're going to need more. During activity, if you're having more strenuous activity, of course, you're going to need to focus on hydration even more. But there are so many other components that water and hydration impacts for our day-to-day that it is crucial to find different tips, tricks, things that will help you maintain that hydration and avoid getting to a place of already being down the hill and having to go back up to get rehydrated. Body temperature regulation. It's getting hotter. We're all gonna be in hotter environments. Or even if you're in an office space and you're just talking throughout the day, it's easy to forget to have water throughout the day. And it's not until you start getting quenched, you're starting to feel your lips feel dry, that then we start focusing on drinking water. But by that point, it's past the point, and you're then having to catch up. Digestion. You probably heard of or practiced not having enough water and how that's impacting your digestion, regularity, your feeling of having bloating, discomfort. So water goes into play for all of those dynamics. Everyone has individualized needs. Of course, we want to focus on making sure that we find and identify what's best for you. But overall, if we're striving for a goal of about 10 cups a day, that is a general guidance that'll help you make sure that you're also listening to your body and identifying if you're needing more or you're needing less. Now, how is this all impacting you? Well, you're being active, you're moving around, you are going to work and you're having difficulties with concentration, you're having difficulties with endurance, you feel like your performance is decreasing if you're not having enough hydration. So general concepts, general ideas that all come back to why it's important to stay hydrated. Now, of course, I was mentioning before that water and hydration is such a normal part of our routine that we don't necessarily take it into consideration. So that's why it's important to find different ways perspective, even if it's just during this presentation, even if it's just you're coming up with a game plan for the week or for the month. What are you doing specifically that's going to help you stay hydrated throughout your day-to-day routine? And that can be something as simple as just keeping your water bottle in places that you're going to remember to take it with you. Keeping something in your car that you can grab easily when you're moving around. Having something that makes it fun, exciting, enjoyable to add some type of fresh, hydrating water filled with fruits, berries, ice cubes that have all these amazing herbs that are going to add delicious flavor to your water. All these things can be added onto your routine so that you're focusing on hydration, and also having foods that are going to be good sources of fluid too. This can also be something that you're incorporating as snacks, so that it's not just a one thing that you're doing. You're adding tasty watermelon, you're having grapes throughout your day, you're freezing grapes and you're putting that in your water, and then you have a delicious snack afterwards. So a lot of different things that you can do, but ultimate thing is come up with one item, one simple thing that you plan on doing after this presentation, and then build your way up to a place where you're consciously focusing on staying hydrated.
Well, that's a great idea. I've heard microplastics are a bad thing, but stainless steel water bottles are kind of heavy and annoying. And what do you think? Should I get rid of all the plastic water bottles I have?
So, I mean, ultimately it comes down to what's going to be best fit for you. And yes, there are small things that we can all do to improve our overall routine. So if you're someone who's already struggling with hydration and you're really always dehydrated, you're going to the bathroom and you're seeing that it's dark colored, then that person might not necessarily be the best person to tell to get rid of all of their plastics. But if you have an Amazon shopping list and you want to add something simple into your routine, and you're having a birthday come up or whatever, and you're asking for random things, a stainless steel water bottle, something that's BPA approved, that we are not necessarily adding too much bulk onto the routine, but it's also cutting down on the plastics. Having simple steps that help push you in the right direction based off of what is best for your overall routine. So yeah, overall, reducing the amount of microplastic access or incorporation that you have on a day-to-day, but also listening to what's going to be easiest for you. And if it's just making that one step today of, okay, today I'm going to find a water bottle that doesn't contain, that is more glass or metal, something that's going to be sturdy and I can carry around with. That's a really, really good start. Good question. So the next part of it is leveraging the power of protein. So we've talked about hydration. Now let's focus a little bit on protein. Protein is a hot topic. It's something that you hear a lot of people talking about, and it is one of the things that industries are focusing on a lot have been focusing a lot over the last few months. So you're seeing coffee that has protein in it. You're seeing ice cream with protein. You're seeing fiber powders that you mix with water and also has protein in it. So there's so many different products that are out there that tell you they contain protein. But the important part that I want to focus on is how you're using protein to fit your needs. Now, protein is a building block to overall stability, energy, our body, our muscles, and it's there for muscle growth, bone repair, all these systems in our body that are using these amino acids and the nutrients from the protein to help function. So the reality is that most Americans are getting enough protein. So if you're kind of looking at a general adult, 0.8 grams per kilogram per day is what's recommended. So someone who's about 150 pounds, 55, almost 60 grams of protein is the sweet spot for them. But again, everything is individualized. So you have someone who's more of an athlete, you have an older adult, you have a pregnant woman, you have someone who's breastfeeding. All of these impact general protein needs. And so rather than focusing on just bumping up your protein intake and finding different foods that are going to add protein to your routine, let's focus on healthy foods that are going to overall impact your intake with that protein, but also going to have healthy fats. They're going to have fiber included in them. What are foods that are going to be well balanced, that are going to help us meet our protein goals, and not just going to give us excess calories, which at the end of the day, even if you are having the healthiest source of protein, if you're going over your overall calorie and protein needs, your body is just turning that over and converting it into fat. So meeting that sweet spot so that you're getting enough protein, you're helping optimize your energy levels, is the focus. little bit on different levels. So overall, most people will fall between the 0.8 to 1 gram. If you have endurance athletes, strength training athletes, they're breaking down muscle, they're building muscle, they're using the bone density is being impacted. So they are really heavily going to have to focus on prioritizing protein in their day-to-day routine. Generally, most people can consume more protein than they need, but the ultimate thing, like I said, is, are you having the right balance of all the nutrients that you need, and are you avoiding having an excess or not having enough of any type of food in your overall day-to-day? Different protein sources, you can get them from animal sources, you can get them from plant sources. Overall, plant sources have also been shown to have many other benefits, including fiber, impacting your gut health, microbiome. If you've ever heard of bioavailability, there is a concept where the foods that you're consuming can break down easier so that your body can access those nutrients quicker, which is the case. If you are having the exact amount of protein that your body needs, or if you're an endurance or a strength training athlete and you need higher amounts of protein, having the protein that's going to break down and fuel those muscles and those cells quicker is going to be more helpful. But in general, having a balance with plants and animal source proteins is going to be a good way to combine all the nutrients that you need and make sure that you're not having excess or underdoing it on what you're eating. Now, this is generally just talking about portion sizes, because going back to the general needs that people have. So if you have a 150-pound person who has a goal of about 60 grams of protein, 3 ounces of chicken here is listed as 20 grams. And the reality is that most people in the portion sizes that we get are between 6 to 9 ounces. So a lot bigger. This is 3 ounces, about the size of a deck of cards, maybe a computer mouse. So not all that big. Just showing you how quickly you can get to your goals. So now it's more a matter of identifying how much protein and what sources you're getting it from. And there's also many scenarios like GLP-1s, people taking medications, people taking, having different digestibility to the foods that they're having. So overall, they might not be eating as much. And so therefore, having the foods that you need to get to those goals is going to be key. If you're not eating all that much protein, if you're not eating all that much in general, then how do we maximize the specific foods that you're having so that you can get to that goal that you have? Now, talked about hydration, we talked about protein. One of the things that we all hear, but we also possibly don't focus on all that much, is fiber. How do we get fiber into our routine, and what do we do to meet our fiber needs? Now, most of the time when people are thinking of fiber, they're thinking of eat your fruits, eat your vegetables, get your daily greens. But the reality is that there's so many different purposes and layers to how fiber impacts your gut health, your performance, your energy levels, that I really want to focus on making sure that we all understand what fibrous foods we should be adding to our routine so that we can get all the benefits from it. Because most Americans in general are eating about half of their recommendations or requirements for fiber. So most are within about 15 grams per day, where the goal is to get to about 25 to 35, 25 to almost 40 grams of protein or fiber per day. Now, we have different sources of fiber, which I want to give you a little more insight and break it down to make it more simplistic and help you understand what each type of fiber does. So soluble, insoluble, and fermentable fibers. The way you can break down these fiber foods are, you have soluble fibers, which act more like a sponge. So imagine this sponge that's capturing fluids, that's capturing foods, it's helping transfer it through your digestive tract, and it's helping slow things down. So you have oats, beans, apples, chia seeds. All of this is forming a gel-like substance that's really helping with trapping things like cholesterol and sugar in your digestive tract, in your intestine, so that it's really slowing down how quickly it's going into your circulatory system. So this is why foods that contain soluble fiber have been shown to help lower cholesterol levels, that help reduce the spikes and the crashes from your overall blood sugars. So having foods that are going to help you with slowing down the digestion and helping with the digestion in general are going to be important. And soluble fiber, very similar to that, where it's taking food and it's helping it transport through your digestive tract and your intestines, but this acts more like a brush. So it's taking all those foods, it's helping create more bulk in your digestive tract, and then it's helping push it down your intestinal tract to the peristalsis that's happening with your intestines. So these are going to be foods that are more fibrous, that have skins, nuts, seeds, very just hearty vegetables, cruciferous vegetables. All of those are helping with preventing constipation. It's helping with regularity in your bowel movements. It's helping with reducing bloating, indigestion, discomfort. It can even help with overall maintaining full throughout the day, so that you're not having, like I said, those big spikes and crashes. You're getting a slow, consistent burst of energy throughout the day. And then fermentable fibers. So fermentable fibers, not something that are talked as much about, but they have been something that have been consumed and been prioritized for the longest time. And it's more so now that we're getting a lot of research that's showing all the amazing benefits from the fermentables. Fermentable fibers act like a food source for the healthy bacteria in our microbiome. And these fermentable fibers, or the nutrients from the fermentable fibers, are feeding those bacteria so that we can continue to break down those foods and help make sure that we're digesting to the best of our abilities. So it's these amino acids that are producing compounds that are helping with the breakdown of our foods that is adding value to these fermentable foods.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, please.
So my husband makes this giant like shaker bottle daily that's a mix of soluble like psyllium fiber and then wheat bran with some water and cinnamon and some things. And that's kind of his fiber, and there's a ton of fiber in it, and I guess his system has adjusted. But is there a benefit to spacing it over time, or is really like fiber intake, if you do it once and it's a huge amount, does it have the same benefit as if you divide it up into smaller doses over the course of a day?
Yeah, that's a great question. So ideally, you want to try and have it throughout different portions or courses throughout the day, because what it's doing is it's combining with all the other foods that you're consuming at that particular period. And as it's going through your digestive tract, it's slowing down the absorption. So it's helping with those sudden bursts of energy. As opposed to having it one time throughout the day, all the other foods that you're consuming throughout the day, say for lunch or dinner, if those are higher glycemic value or they're more processed, they're being broken down a lot quicker in your stomach, so you're not getting the value and the benefits of the slow digestion. So yeah, ultimately, having plenty of fiber throughout the day is super, super helpful, but I would say it out tends to be more helpful, and it also helps with regularity. So if you're having too much fiber all at once, then you're going to need a lot more water, a lot more fluids to help break it down, and then that can cause a little bit of a impact to the digestibility and the regularity. And then the last part I will say in that is when you're having large, very large portions of fiber, your body is a muscle, your digestive tract is a muscle, so it's able to adjust over time and kind of build its strength. But if you're having very, very large amounts of fiber all at once, it can make it harder for your stomach to be able to break it down, it can cause indigestion, other difficulties at that particular moment. So yeah, good question.
And
Spacing
it
it.
sounds too like when I'm hearing you say it's actually much more beneficial if you take it with food. Like really how he does it is once he's done eating for dinner, it's kind of how he gets through his fasting window because he does intermittent fasting, except he'll have that. But it seems like the benefit is more if you're having it with your food rather than after you're done eating for the day. Is that accurate?
Yes, that's when you're maximizing the benefit of fibers.
Thank you.
Yeah. I see a hand raised too.
Yeah, I have a question, kind of to Lisa's point. Thanks for bringing that up, Lisa. So in the morning, I used to take my psyllium husk and I mix it with my whey protein and this slew of like vitamins in the morning. And then, I'm on ChatGPT researching my vitamin stack and my whey protein and my little drink mix that I make. And Chat said to me, like, separate that psyllium husk away from everyone else. Take it in the middle of the day because the psyllium husk is not going to allow for as great of an absorption of all your morning vitamins. Is Chat?
Yeah, that's a great question. So what I would say is when you're having psyllium husk, what it does is it's helping create bulk. And so with that bulk, it's not all evacuating from your digestive tract all at once. It's kind of slowly building more and more bulk throughout the day. And so when you have larger amounts of veggies, then that really helps push through a lot of the content in your digestive tract. But overall, the psyllium husk is kind of helping create or leave some of the bristles or the brushes in the digestive tract, so that slowly but surely throughout the day it will pick up with other foods and then help add more bulk throughout the day. So what I would say is the reason ChatGPT is telling you to have it separate from your meals is because if you're having a large amount of the psyllium husk at the same time you're having vitamins and minerals, it's kind of like certain medications. Some are long acting and some are short acting, where you're getting big bursts of the impact of the medication. And so if you're having your vitamins, those vitamins are intended to be broken down and go into your circulatory system quickly so that you're getting all of the vitamins that you need. But if you're taking a vitamin that's going to create bulk, that captures things like LDL cholesterol and other nutrients, then it might pull them along with it so that instead of it focusing on just absorbing into your circulatory system, some of it is being caught up with the bristles and then it's leaving your body eventually. So yeah, good question. So mostly the fiber benefits of digestibility and also being able to get all of the value of having that regularity is kind of some of the main items that we discuss. But in general, there's a lot of research that shows how fiber intake, fermentable fiber, all the different types of fiber is helping with lowering heart disease, stroke, cardiovascular disease. It's helping decrease instances of cancer. So multifaceted value and benefit of focusing on fiber on your day-to-day routine. And how can we focus on adding these fibrous foods? Well, kind of like what I was talking about with hydration, you want to try and find maybe one tip after today. What is something that you could add to your routine, whether it be add some chia seeds to whatever your breakfast routine is, maybe mixing it in with some of the hydration tips that I was talking about. And so you're having some fruit with your water and then mixing a little bit of those chia seeds in there. It's a lot of great ways to incorporate fiber. Is just pick one particular topic and then we can go from there. A super, super important thing that I like to focus on with everyone is, yes, we think about food, we think about the benefits, and so we try to make small changes to make all that happen. But when do we stop to listen to our body? How are we using our body and the cues that our body is giving us to identify what changes we can make from a day-to-day, from our eating perspective? So listening to your body, it will give you signs that something is wrong, something is off. You're having indigestion, and that indigestion might be causing you to not be able to sleep at night, and that lack of sleep may be decreasing your energy levels throughout the day. You might be having bloating. That bloating might be causing your impact in your physical activity. So there's a lot of different things that your body is constantly telling you. Sometimes it's important just to stop, listen to it, take a step back, and then identify what are some of the things that we can do to help listen to our body and improve the issues that it's telling us we need to work on. Signs, like I mentioned, heartburn, upset stomach, bloating, fatigue, low energy, you're constantly feeling hungry, or maybe it could be opposite. Like I mentioned before, GLP-1s, medications can cause you not to feel as hungry. And so are we listening to those cues, and how are we reacting to those cues to make sure that we are getting the right nutrients that we need so that the whole big picture of what we're trying to do is coming together? Dehydration, you're feeling dizzy, you're having a headache throughout the day, you're exercising, and after you exercise, you have a severe headache that lasts for an hour or two. All of these things, your performance is being impacted. What can we do ahead of time or after the fact to minimize all of these signs and improve your overall health? When we do that, we build a roadmap. We listen to the signs that our body is giving us. We narrow it down if it's something that's constantly happening or if it's something that happens from time to time. We find associations. Maybe there's certain foods that we're having around those times, or maybe foods that we're not having. And how do we then address what signs our body is telling us and what might be causing it? Or even if we don't know what might be causing it, or we don't have the ability to figure out the logistics, we at least have an idea of what are we feeling, when are we feeling it, and then the next step to that is connecting with someone who can help guide you through it. Now, you might see your dentist if you're having dental issues, you're focusing on your mental health, you go and see licensed therapists. The same thing is something you want to do when you're focusing on your food. Someone who can talk about the foods that you're eating and how it's impacting your body will help guide you through the process of identifying what's the right food for you. What are the right routines that you need to focus on to optimize your health? And what do you get when you're speaking with a dietitian? So it's not to say that people who have training, have experience, who have done nutrition in the undergrad wouldn't be able to guide you in the right direction. But some of the components where a registered dietitian come in handy are, let's say you have certain illnesses, you have metabolic issues, you have other diagnoses where you're taking medications. A dietitian can help analyze the medications that you're taking, also look at supplements that you might be taking, consider, hey, are these having any type of interactions? So someone who can walk you through not only the eating portion, but the bigger picture of what is your health state and what are you doing, and how you can put all of the foods that you're bringing together, you look at your supplements that you're taking, and help adjust things based off of what you need. Dietitian is credentialed. They have continuing education that they do on a yearly basis. They've gone through oftentimes rotation programs where they've worked with different medical scenarios, with people who have cancer, with people who have heart disease. So they have a lot of experience and can walk you through not only from your health and eating perspective needs, but also look into the bigger picture of what else is happening with your health and how might this all be intertwined. And going back to it, it's not a one size fits all thing. So you might have general information that you hear from media, that you see online, that tell you amazing things that have worked for other people. And yes, this is great. Other people have had amazing success with certain routines and certain supplements and things that they might have done. But working with someone who can tie those benefits with your particular state and what you're doing, what medications you're taking, what your activity levels are, what your goals are, they're guiding you through that process with all of these components in mind. will help with tracking trends, adapting with change, medication, help you stay accountable and focus on meeting those goals. So that's a summary of the 5 tips that I recommend you focus on that help focus my day-to-day activity, my energy levels, hydration, stay hydrated, focus on good healthy sources of protein, fuel your digestive tract with fiber, listening to your body, and connect with a nutrition professional, a dietitian when you have specific questions and you want more guidance. So I appreciate all of you being here. I appreciate your time. You've had amazing questions, and I would definitely open it up to any further questions that you have. Or I also encourage you to connect with me directly if you have more specific questions where you'd like to set goals or plans. I'm here to help you.
Thank you, Jamie.
Of course. Thank you.
Very interesting.
Well, I'm glad to have the opportunity. Thank you, Tony and Longevity AI, for giving this opportunity for us to connect with others so that we can share resources that we have.
Yeah, this is great. I love what you put together. One question, maybe it's a final question, I don't know, but I tend to eat really healthy for the most part, but I don't eat balanced on a daily basis. Like sometimes, I'll just have steak and eggs all day and that's it. I don't no vegetables. And other times I'll have 2 salads all day, and be really heavy on the vegetables and kind of light on the protein. Is that really bad? I know it's not perfect, but
We're always striving for improvement and not perfection. And yes, there is a component to your day-to-day routine where if you want to have consistent energy, if you want to have consistent level of performance, if you are having issues with bloating on certain days, it's likely related to what are the variances in your routine. So ultimately, you want to try and find ways to have more consistency, but it's also not necessarily of every day has to be perfect. Ultimately, you're having amazing nutrients that you're putting into your body, and they will all go into effect in adding to the health and longevity. But it's more so for the day-to-day components where you might be having variability in just your energy levels and your sleep patterns and whatnot. That's where fine-tuning the process so that you're trying to get a little bit more balance on a day-to-day basis is helpful. So you're still doing an amazing job at having healthy foods that are going to benefit you. It's just now, how do we focus on maybe what's one small thing that you can do on the days where you're not having as many vegetables, so at least have a snack that you're having that's going to add in some of the fiber, or maybe a topping that you can put onto some of those foods that bumps up a little bit more of the healthy fat that you're needing. So yeah.
Okay. And then one other question that just popped in mind. The intermittent fasting thing. It's a trend. I get it for insulin sensitivity, and also I get it for limiting your eating window so you lose weight, right? When I'm training for triathlons and long distance events and burning a ton of calories, it doesn't seem to make sense. I've been told also, eat 6 meals a day, and I kind of need to eat 6 meals a day when I'm in training mode. So the intermittent fasting, it would give me a headache and I just couldn't do it. And I didn't see that it applied to endurance athletes. Is that kind of true? I mean, you don't have marathon runners doing intermittent fasting, do you?
So yeah, it's 100% agree with you. And also the big thing that I catch from what you're saying is you're listening to your body and you're saying, hey, if I'm not having foods consistently and I'm training for a marathon or I'm being extra active, then this is what I'm feeling from my body. And as a result, you're probably less likely to want to go as hard on your workout the next day, or your performance level from that particular workout is not being optimized, and you're not getting the benefits of the muscle building and the endurance building from those exercises if you're not properly nourished. So yeah, it is individual basis, and it's more so what are you prioritizing in your routine. And if it's building muscle, if it's working on your endurance, then the nutrition that's more prone to helping you be successful at that is what you want to focus on. And if you're having different scenarios where you're trying to cut down on calories, or you're trying to get some of the benefits of intermittent fasting, then yeah, that then becomes the different priority. So I agree with you. Listening to your body and what it's telling you, and also tailoring it to what your outcomes are trying to be.
Great, great. Yeah, I really like your answers. You're got a good delivery too, so I think it's going to go well.
Awesome. Well, I definitely encourage you all to reach out if you have any more questions, if you're wanting to go through any specifics in terms of what we can do for you to be healthier and to have an overall nutritious lifestyle. So I appreciate your time again. Thank you all for coming, and hope to see you in the next presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good day.